Okay. Interesting song to have in the playlist there, isn't it? Anyway. Onward. I let out a great big yawn. It was like morning had arrived just as I got to sleep. As Mom set up breakfast, she gave me a pained smile.
どうしたの、ケイチ。ゆうべは何時に寝たの
？12時には寝たつもりだけど、昨日はなんだか寝つきが悪くてさ。
What was keeping you up all night?
お祭りで走りすぎて興奮して眠れなかったんでしょ。
違うよ。
I crunched down hard on the pickled radish to hide my embarrassment. After all that happened yesterday and our discussion about the sound Shion heard, that banging noise like a child far away jumping up and down on a wooden floor, that was your guilt. The story wouldn't get out of my head, so I had trouble sleeping. It was a long night, and I kept jumping at the slight sounds of faraway tree branches, which should have either been unhearable or too insignificant to notice. When I woke up to the morning sunlight and birds chirping, it made me feel pretty ashamed about it, but I felt far from refreshed this morning. Hey, at least it is morning this time.
あれ？ケイチ君目が真っ赤だよ。どうしてだろう？
おはよう。どういうわけか寝つきが悪くてな。そんなわけで今日は寝不足だ。
昨日のお祭りは楽しかったね。レナも興奮がなかなか冷めなくてなかなか寝れなかったんだよ。
In Reina's case, her excitement seemed to still be wide awake.
こういうお祭りが何度もあればいいのにね。またみんなで大盛り上がり。
まあ、そうだな。
Reina talking about the festival yesterday made me remember everything I'd nearly forgotten from last night. The inside of the ritual storehouse had been so utterly different from the relaxed, bright, everyday life of Hinamizawa. All those stories that Takana-san told me, too. The mysterious incidents that occurred on the day of the Watanagashi festival every year. The strange incidents where one person would die and one person would disappear. The old stories of Hinamizawa flickering like a candle behind them. The numerous and horrifying traditions of Onagafuji village. The villagers with demon blood in them. The terrible cannibalistic feasts. The poor sacrifices kidnapped from human villages, victims of the Onagakushi. To quell the rage of Oyashiro-sama, the ritual involving living sacrifices. There were also many, many others. There were so many stories that just remembering them put me in a foul mood. Most of them weren't fiction either. They were true. We didn't need to fear them just because they were real, though. Since it all happened so long ago. Such a very long time ago.
みーちゃん遅いね。
Before I realized it, we'd arrived at the place where we'd usually meet with Mion. Probably because I was so lost in thought.
この時間になっても来ないときは先に行ってもいい約束になってるんだけど。
I'm getting a bad vibe out of this. Anyone else getting a bad vibe?
どうする？
Just me? Okay. Mion being late wasn't too rare an occurrence, but today she was unusually late. A few of the ominous tales from the night before, came back to life in my mind again. Who would die this year and who would disappear? It couldn't have been Mion.
どうす
She's
るか
way
な
too important to
ケイ
the
チ君
story.
もう行かないと遅刻になっちゃうかも。
来るよ。学校休むって電話があったわけじゃないだろ。もう5分待ってみようぜ。な。
Reina looked at her watch and seemed a little worried, but then she nodded with a satisfied smile. Keiichi shouldn't be allowed anything. If we had to wait 5 minutes, we'd have to run as fast as we could to school, or we'd be late. As soon as I thought that, we spotted Mion running towards us, out of breath.
みーちゃん、遅い遅い。
待っててくれたわけ？先に行っちゃってもよかったのに。
Mion was breathing heavily, and her face was all red. Her house was right down this road, wasn't it? It wasn't far enough away for her to end up like this, was it?
みーちゃん、ひょっとして具合悪くない？
Huh? Now that she mentioned it. Reina pushed Mion's bangs away and put her hand to her forehead.
レナの手、冷たいな。
みーちゃん、ちょっとだけど熱あるよ。
Hi, Cat. Did you decide to come in here while I was taking a break? Did you decide to come in here? Yeah.
そんな大したことないよ。
Great, Mion has a fever now.
半日もすればケロッと治っちゃうって。
How are fiddles considered fit? I've always wondered this. I haven't actually. Please don't answer that.
本当に大丈夫かよ。あんまり無理するなよ。
あれ？ケイちゃん、気遣ってくれるの？嬉しいな。
That answer wasn't like Mion at all. She must have had it pretty bad.
無理しない方がいいと思うな。先生にはお休みだって伝えとくよ。
大丈夫大丈夫。風邪薬も飲んだし。
Yeah.
すぐに効いてくると思うから。
Mion forced an energetic expression onto her face and flexed her biceps at us. Really?
じゃあ
Where
行
we're
こう
getting
か。
tickets to the gun show, I take it.
くれぐれも無理するなよ。って言いながら時間。
走らないと間に合わない。
スリリングな朝になっちゃったね。
Thrilling is a word.
鈍った体にはちょうどいいカツかもね。走ろう。
Hey, wait, you're sick. Don't go overboard. Mion began to run vigorously anyway.
みーちゃんだって最上級生だよ。自分の体のことは自分で一番よくわかってるよ。
I decided to leave it at that and assume she was fine.
よし、俺たちも行こうぜ。
We began to run after Mion. The school looked the same as always. The hours passed listlessly, and my lack of sleep took its toll. If there's a sport where people can beat by sleeping, I'd be world champion right now. The trick to overcoming this sort of dangerous situation was to hold your pencil upside down. Why, you ask? So you don't draw strange patterns all over your notes while half asleep. If you were holding your pencil upside down, then that wouldn't happen, would it? Something that felt like an eraser hit me in the head 6 times.
あ、いてててて、何しやがるサトコ。
私は何もしてないでございますわ。
Sure you haven't.
お前以外にこんないたずら誰がするんだよ。あ、消しゴムじゃなくてチョークか。え？
You. We're gonna have a talk about curry. Behind me, like a female outlaw might hold razors, was the teacher's shadow, holding 3 pieces of chalk in each hand.
前原くん、お顔を洗ってらっしゃい。
はい。喜んで。
That alone was enough to wake me up, but I flew out in the hallway as if I shoved out by pressure exuded by the teacher's sheer power. If I was going to wash my face anyway, then I would rather use the sinks out front rather than the ones in the dark restroom. Thinking that, I left the hallway and went to the entrance. The sunlight was strong. So strong you wouldn't think it was June. Japan is in the northern hemisphere. I'm just saying. I turned the faucet, and with a lifeless bubbling noise, lukewarm water came pouring out. If I let it run for a few moments, would it get cold? I looked at it absent-mindedly for a little while.
やっぱケイちゃんはこっちの流しを選んだか。
Why are you out here?
表の方が気分いいもんね。
ミオンか。授業サボるなよな。
I stuck my hands in finding the water to find that it had gotten so cold it seemed strange it had ever been warm. I scooped it up and splashed it against my face. Once I was done, I moved out of the way and Mion did the same.
ミオン、具合の方はいいのかよ。眠いのは寝不足じゃなくて薬の副作用なんだろ。
実は内緒なんだけど、昨日はお祭りの後で親族の宴会に巻き込まれちゃってさ。
Ah, party.
それで実はエンドレスに突入しちゃって。
Things dragged on? So, you mean to say you didn't have a cold or anything?
つまり本当に寝不足なのかよ。徹夜明けならそうと言え、紛らわしい。
勘弁してよ。体調が悪いのは本当なんだからさ。
Did you get drunk? I suppose she'd be feeling lousy either way. Still, you treat colds and sleep deprivation in completely different ways.
心配して損したぞ。たく、ミオンらしいというかなんというか。
Mion scratched her head, a little embarrassed. She didn't seem to be feeling well, but now that I knew the cause, I didn't need to worry too much. It'd go away with a little rest, after all.
あ、でも頭がガンガンするのは本当。だからさ、さっき先生に早退していいって言われちゃった。
あ、ずるいやつ。じゃあミオンはもうこれで帰りなのか？
Now that I looked again, Mion had her bag with her. She must have been on her way home.
申し訳ないけどね。今日は家でおとなしく寝させてもらうわ。
Sure you will.
部活できなくて申し訳ないね。今日はケイちゃんがリーダーってことでやってくれない？
多分無理だと思うぜ。俺たち部活は全員揃った時しかやらないっていう暗黙の了解があるだろう。ミオンがバイトに行ってる時はいつもそのままお開きだったんだぜ。
Mion laughed wryly, saying we didn't need to worry about her. No matter how much fun we have, though, I think that feeling guilty about friends who can't share in it is a sign of a really fantastic friendship. In that sense, the club Mion created is a wonderful thing. As I thought about it, the moisture on my face dried up. I suppose we were talking too much. If I didn't get back to the classroom soon, I could get in trouble.
じゃあな。俺は教室に戻るぜ。帰りは気をつけろよ。ふらふらして側溝や用水路に落ちるなよ。
I think one's much more likely than the other, even though they're both pretty far out there, dude. I left it at that, turned around, and started heading back into the classroom.
あ、そうそう、ケイちゃん。
Mion stopped me and I turned my head to listen.
なんだ？
Is this gonna be scary, Mion, telling us we shouldn't have gone into the shrine?
変なこと聞くけど深く考えないで答えてね。
Don't what?
そりゃ内容によりけりだな。
昨日の綿流しの晩さ、富武さんと高野さんに会わなかった？
Oh, good. This is happening already. I guess we kind of figured out it was going to happen, but you know. I suddenly tensed up.
富武さんと高野さんはわかるよね。ほらケイちゃん、お祭りの前日準備の時、シオンと一緒に4人でお話ししてたでしょ？
Yes? If I could, I wanted to forget about sneaking into the storehouse that night as soon as possible. So hearing the names of the people I was with at the time really got to me. Besides that, though, why was Mion asking me a question like that? I ended up staring at her, unable to answer immediately. Was she asking to see if I'd seen them or not, or was she asking the question knowing that I had? I couldn't tell.
さあ、どうかな。あったような、会わなかったような。
My vague response was clearly not to Mion's liking. What answer was she expecting from me? There was no way for me to know. Yeah, we're dead. We are dead now. This is pretty much our fate.
そう。じゃあもう一つ質問ね。
Oh God. What question are you going to bring up? Please don't bring up the question I think you're going to state.
同じく夕べ、
Yeah?
シオンに会わなかった？
Didn't you already ask me this? My heart leapt into my throat again. The tiny needles buried underneath Mion's words pricked into me.
それ、昨日も聞いたよな。俺、会ったかどうかわからないって答えたと思ったぜ。
そうだっけ？
Wrong character, Anonymous.
また改めて聞いたら違う答えが返ってくるかなって思ってさ。
I thought you'd answer honestly this time. I suddenly noticed something in Mion's eyes. Something indescribable. Oh God, she's got the eyes. Yep, here we go, folks. The ride into hell has come to a complete and full speed. Tomitaki-san and Takano-san. Shion, too. She was asking me about them. There was no doubt about it. Last night, the four of us snuck into the ritual storehouse. She knew everything. So what? That's not really a curse anyway. That's right. Even Shion and Takano-san said yesterday during the festival that there was no curse. And that rather than a curse was the doing of the villagers. My blood curdled. Mion was almost without a doubt aware that we snuck into the storehouse. It was nothing strange. I screwed up bad flipping on the light switch last night. If Mion had been searching for me, it was simple to imagine that she had seen that momentary light and come to find out what was going on. Just confess your sins, yes. He needs to just confess what was going on. Maybe he will get a quick death instead of the torture one. I'm just saying, maybe it'd be better to just have your throat slit and end it quickly than to be stuck inside an oil drum and cooked alive. I'm just saying. At this point, you're just choosing your death,
本
you
当に
know.
会ってないんだね。
どうして会ったかどうかをそんなに気にするんだよ。
大したことじゃないの。
Uh-huh.
富武さんと高野さんとシオンとケイちゃんをね、悪く言ってる人たちがいるの。
Oh, good.
何が悪いんだかはよく聞いてないんだけどね。
Unpleasant sweat dripped down my arms, and the sound of it hanging from my fingertips was so annoyingly loud.
私ケイちゃんが悪いことをするなんて信じてないから。でもちょっとだけ聞いてみたかったから聞いてみたの。不愉快な思いをさせてごめんね。
Uh-huh. I find myself unable to reply. My reaction must have made it obvious what the truth was, and yet I couldn't explain myself.
ケイちゃんは富武さんとも高野さんとも、そしてシオンとも一緒じゃなかった。そうだよね。
ああ。
I finally wrung out an answer between ragged breaths. Mion's expression softened a little.
よかった。
Oh, great. We just lied. That's another thing that's going to be tallied against us.
私言っとくね。ケイちゃんは何にも悪いことには加わってないって。みんなにちゃんと言っておくからね。
Uh-huh. You might not want to do that. Yeah, please do. Tell them I wasn't doing anything bad. To everyone. Make sure. Everyone. Everyone. Who is everyone?
じゃあね。明日は元気になってるから。バイバイ。
Who's everyone? Wait, Mion? What do you mean by everyone? Just then, a freezing cold hand touched the back of my neck.
ほら、遅いですよ前原くん。顔を洗うだけなのに時間がかかりすぎです。
Yep, we made an enemy of the entire village. There are going to be at least, 4 people that die. It was the teacher. I was taking so long she came out to get me.
あ、すみません。ついミオンとおしゃべりを。
I turned around, but Mion had crossed to the schoolyard without me realizing it and was now standing at the gate.
さあ、お勉強に戻りますよ。
Or else we're going to start talking about curry again.
早く早く。
The teacher was being insistent. We returned to the entrance. I looked back one more time, and Mion was nowhere in sight.
ケイチ、今日はずっと元気がないのです。昨日大はしゃぎしすぎたからに違いありませんわ。
迷子になって目を真っ赤にさせて半泣きしてたやつに言われたくねえ。
You know, being antagonistic to the little devil child is not going to help you out there, Keiichi.
ゆうべのさとこちゃんかわいかったよ。はう。
My friends did their best to try and cheer me up, but it didn't lighten my mood. Was it far worse than I thought? Had I really done something that terrible last night? Those thoughts remained with me for the rest of the day.
じゃあね、ケイチくん。また明日ね。
By the time I realized it, I was in front of my own house.
みーちゃんも風邪だったみたいだけど、ひょっとしてケイチくんもなのかな。
Yeah, we messed up hardcore.
え、大丈夫だよ。
No, I'm not.
こう見えても風邪で休んだことはないんだぜ。
I'm in pretty bad shape here, just not where it shows.
でもみーちゃんもケイチくんも今日は具合が悪そうだし。
That's because I screwed up and I now realize the ramifications of what I've done.
気にしてくれてありがとな。大丈夫。バカは風邪ひかないんだぜ。
Reina smiled, then waved to me and left. Whew. With my shoulders bobbing up and down from breathing heavily, I entered the house. As soon as I got back in, Mom called out to me, Keiichi, there's a lynch mob here to see you.
何？
ケイチ、悪いんだけど図書館に行って本を返してきてくれない？
We're gonna get chased down by cars again, aren't we?
お父さんもお母さんも今ね、ちょっと電話待ちをしてるところで家を開けられないの。返却期限も今日までだし、お願いできない？
Sheesh. Did it have to do with Dad's job? No point in arguing if they bring that up.
仕方ないな。でも俺、図書館がどこにあるか知らないよ。
あら、知らないの？沖宮の駅前をちょっと進んで。
Okay, Ichi, you did all that, even though they stood up for you when those bikers were going to wreck you. Man. No respect at all, this generation. Just then the phone rang. My parents' faces immediately turned grim. Mom snatched up the receiver.
もしもし、前原です。はい？はい、おりますけど。
Then she thrust the receiver at my face.
圭一に電話よ。早めに終わらせてね。
I tried to ask who it was from, but asking the person on the phone directly would be faster.
もしもし。
あ、園崎の妹の方です。
Yeah, you! Demon! Get away from me!
こんにちは。今はお時間大丈夫ですか？
No, not for you. It was Shion. The older sister shattered from an all-nighter, but the younger seemed fine.
シオンか。ミオンと同じで、今日は徹夜明けで寝込んでるんじゃないかと思ったぜ。
え？それじゃあおね、今日はずる休みですか？おねらしい。
You know, I don't appreciate you slagging off my friend. She laughed warningly, but Mom glared at me, suddenly telling me to finish up.
ごめんな。ちょっと親が電話待ちをしてるんで、何の用だ？
お話ししたいことがあったんですけど、長電話が無理じゃ仕方ないですね。
She sounded a little disappointed. What would Shion want to talk to me about? Now I was interested.
じゃあさ、会って話をしないか？
Keiichi, this is a terrible plan.
ついでに図書館にも案内してもらえるとありがたい。
図書館って駅前の私立図書館ですか？別にいいですよ。バイトのついでってことで。
じゃあいつもミオンと待ち合わせてる場所わかるか？園崎家の小道に分かれる分岐の。
あ、ケイちゃん言ってませんでしたっけ？私本家じゃなくて沖宮の家に住んでるんですよ。だから待ち合わせ場所は沖宮駅の改札前なんかにしてくれた方が嬉しいんですけど。
Main house? Living in Okonomiya? Didn't we go over this? Now that you mentioned it, it's always seemed like the Sonozaki sisters weren't communicating. Did they live in different houses? Keiichi, we've been over this! Mion told you this much! Now that you mentioned it, Reina said she'd never met the younger sister despite going over to play sometimes.
じゃあ駅に集合な。すぐに行くよ。じゃあ。
I set the receiver down, and Mom immediately thrust a large pile of library books in my face. 6 volumes of long-form mystery novels. Mom had her own hobbies.
圭一、よろしくね。お夕飯までには帰るのよ。
じゃあ行ってくれよ。
I supposed I'd change my clothes and grab my bike key. I climbed the stairs to my bedroom. Shion had been waiting for me already, so meeting up was a smooth process.
ミオンと違って、シオンは待ち合わせ時間を守るな。
Dude? Really? Not the time to bring up Mion's faults here.
しみじみ。
おねんを標準にされるといろいろと困ります。
Hmm? Shion seemed a little unsteady, too. She was up all night with Mion, wasn't she?
お前も夕べは寝てないんだろ？隠しても無駄だぞ。で、学校を早退したに違いない。
残念でした。私はそもそも今日はずる休みしてますので。
Yeah.
私、おねんより容量いいですから。
Hey, I don't think you can call playing hooky smarter.
じゃあ先に用事を片付けます？時間もそんなにないですから。図書館へ行くんですよね。
ああ、頼むよ。お袋の借りてる本の返却期限が今日までらしいんで。図書館は遠いのか？
すぐ近くですよ。
As she said that, we spotted the signboard for the library almost immediately. If it was this easy to find, I guess I didn't need Shion to show me where it was after all. We rode around a bend and the building was right there. Shishiboni Public Library. We lived in the country, so I hadn't expected too much, but it was pretty big. The first floor was actually a government office, so the library was only on the second floor, but it still looked large enough to fit a decent collection of books. We passed through the automatic doors and were greeted by the cool breeze of an air curtain. The cicadas had been loud outside, but it was quiet inside the library. The air conditioning inside was keeping the temperature at an ideal level for the books, which had that mildewy smell unique to old paper.
どこの図書館も似たようなもんだな。
If there was one difference, it was that people studying for tests weren't taking up all the seats. I was one of those people, but now that seemed like a distant memory.
すみません、返却に来ました。
The librarian went through the process of checking them in, and then returned my mom's library card. Shion was going around the bookshelves with a deeply interested look on her face, like she wasn't the type who went to libraries very often.
悪いな、お待たせ。終わったよ。
図書館って涼しくていいところですね。私、将来は図書館で働きたいです。
地味というか堅実というか、姉と比べると随分とささやかな希望だな。
Mion would definitely want to be a hardworking employee for an international trading company or some other crazy job that involved her running all around the world. Compared to that, what Shion said is pretty heartwarming.
まあ、互いの持ち味を大切にしたいですよね。私たち分身じゃなくてシオンとミオンというちゃんとした個人なんですから。
双子は双子なりにいろいろと考えてるんだな。でも楽しそうだよな。俺には兄弟はいないから、うちには俺以外は親しかいない。
Great, give her intel.
窮屈なもんだよ。
私だってそうです。お姉とは一緒に住んでるわけじゃないですから。
Yeah, right, she said something like that, didn't she? Why, though? Sisters living apart is unusual. We were getting tired of talking while we were walking. We ended up going to the lounge area, which was vacant, and continuing the conversation. Boy, this looks an awful lot like the lounge area they had in, they held the bikers in.
え？お姉は本家に、私は沖宮の家に住んでるんです。
本家ってなんだ？随分と立派な響きがあるけどな。
本家は本家です。園崎家の本家。お姉は跡取りだから、バッチャと一緒に住んで、いろいろと当主としての修行をさせられてるみたいです。
Mion, the head of the family? It kind of fit her personality, but kind of didn't, too.
ケイちゃんは引っ越してきたばかりでしたよね。自分で言うのもなんですけど、園崎家ってここいらじゃ結構名士なんですよ。
え、本当かよ。
The word personage didn't really match the extremely sociable air that Mion and Shion gave off. From what Shion explained, the Sonozaki family goes way back to the beginnings of Hinamizawa. After the war, they had a bunch of successful ventures and extended their influence to a wide area.
園崎家はですね、親族全体で助け合う土壌があるんです。今の当主のバッチャが築き上げたんですけどね。
The entire family would provide backup to help one relative with a business venture. They were like a huge living company. This let them avoid tax-related problems and help relatives' ventures succeed one after another using large amounts of money.
沖宮の街を歩くことがあったら、看板とかを意識してみてください。 園崎の親族が経営しているお店ってとても多いんですよ。
言われてみれば例のおもちゃ屋も親類の人が経営してるみたいだったな。そういえばエンジェルモートも親類の人が経営してるんじゃないのか？
Even what few shops I was familiar with were involved with the Sonozaki family. It was definitely surprising.
特に金融不動産関係は強いですね。あと商工会議所の役員も何割かは園崎姓かその親類がついてます。沖宮一帯を評伝に市議会議員と県議会議員にも園崎がいますし。
ちょっと待て。なんだかすごい話になってきたぞ。
Her relatives operate shops in downtown Okonomiya, and they're especially strong in finance and real estate? On top of that, a lot of those in Chamber of Commerce and the industry are relatives, and there are even people elected to local offices.
ひょっとして園崎家ってこの辺り一帯じゃすごいんじゃ。
ねえ、
Oh, good, you're here.
すごいんです。
I don't know if I'd call it crazy. Just 1 second, folks. I'm getting a weird ping here. I need to look at something real quick. Come on. Yeah, okay. There we go. There's that. Okay. Sorry about that. All of a sudden, a cigarette-smoking, overweight old man interrupted our conversation. Wait, I know this guy.
どうも。こんにちは。今日はデートですかな？
I wouldn't say that.
羨ましいですね。
そうだと思ったら邪魔しないでほしかったですね。大石さん。
That was it. He was Uishi-san, a police officer. I thought it was this person who came to my rescue when I got involved with those delinquents earlier. Now that I thought about it, Mion didn't seem to like him very much.
いえいえ、すみません。知ってる声が聞こえてきたのでついつい。
Uishi-san laughed coarsely, not showing any sign of giving up. As Shion watched him do so, I didn't feel the same sense of malice from her as I had from Mion.
前原さんでしたよね。あなたもタフな人ですね。園崎姉妹を二股かけるなんて。
You know, I think you have some incredibly wrong ideas about what goes on in this kid's life. He's an idiot. He couldn't two-time anybody if he wanted to.
いや、そんな二股だなんて。
I turned around to look at Shion and plead for help, but she grinned and maintained her silence. Her gaze wandered. She looked at the clock.
あ、ごめんなさい、ケイちゃん。私、もうバイトの時間なんです。
そうなのか？
Wait, didn't Shion have something to talk about today? Now this weird man is here, though.
また今度。あ、 バイトが終わったら電話します。夜なら電話大丈夫ですよね？
ああ、大丈夫だと思う。
じゃあ今夜電話しますので、その時に。じゃあ。
Shion left so fast she was practically running. Uishi-san was waving at me with a grin. I felt like I'd been left here as bait so she could get away. Maybe she was lying about having to go to work.
園崎のご令嬢とこれだけ親しくできるなんて、前原さんもなかなかの大物ですね。
Thanks.
私も口の利き方を改めた方がいいかもしれません。
Uishi-san put a coin into a vending machine. He said something a bit appalling.
アイスティーでいいですか？ミルクは入れます？
Milky tea. Blech.
え？あ、いえ。
じゃあ入れますよ。はいどうぞ。
He handed me a cup of tea filled to the brim with ice as I looked on absent-mindedly. I don't think I'm obligated to have a guy like this buy me a drink, but he did get it for me, so I'll thank him. Was Uishi-san just killing time? We didn't know each other well, but he still engaged me in conversation about all sorts of dumb things. When I thought back to how I talked with Shion, this seemed like a total disaster.
前原さんは園崎さんのことをどれくらいご存知で？
A lot less than I thought.
さっき聞いた以上のことは何も。
Until then, I hadn't known anything about either Mion or Shion other than the fact that they were interesting. I really did only just learn that she was the daughter of some prestigious family.
園崎家はこの地域一帯を牛耳ってる暴力団です。ちなみに彼女のお父さんは関東でも有名な暴力団グループの大幹部さんです。ご存知でした？
え？大幹部って？
シオンさんの自宅をご存知ないんですか？高い塀に有刺鉄線と監視カメラで守られた典型的な暴力団の組長宅ですよ。
Uishi, why you do this to us?
今度ぜひ遊びに行ってみてください。
She'd mentioned me on being a successor, but to a crime syndicate?
いえいえいえいえ、まさかまさか。園崎美音さんが継ぐのはそんなちんけな暴力団組織だけじゃありません。彼女が継ぐのは園崎家そのものですよ。そのあたりの意味、ちょっと噛み締めていただけますかな。
Thanks. Uishi-san had spoken lightly about all this from start to finish, but what he was saying wasn't light in the least. It was abrupt and unbelievable.
ミオンさんがその気になれば、往来の真ん中で人殺しをしたってもみ消せちゃうかもしれないんですよ。
Oh good, she's Trump.
証人は現れないだろうし、警察にだって圧力をかけられますし。
ミオは人殺しなんかしないぞ。
しませんしません、ものの例えですよ。
大石さんでしたっけ？名前。ね
え、そうです。
大石さん、ミオンの家が何だろうと、ミオンは俺の誇れる最高の友人です。それをあまりけなすような言い方は好きになれないですね。
I let my quiet anger show through in my gaze as I stared at him. Of course, I can never seem to tell what he's thinking, so I didn't know if it had any effect.
ではざっくばらんに、そのミオンさんにいくつかの事件の嫌疑がかかっているとしたらどう思います？
Suspected? Incidents. You can't just say terrible stuff like that on a whim.
何かの誤解に決まってるじゃないですか。 ミオンは物騒なことを言うやつだけど、そんな悪いことをするようなやつじゃない。
前原さん、お静かにお静かに。ここ図書館ですから。
Uishi-san shushed me, but in the state of heightened excitement as I was, I wouldn't be calmed so easily.
落ち着いてください。さっきも申し上げました通り、園崎家はいい意味でも悪い意味でもこの辺り一帯で強い力を持っているんです。ですからちょっと何かあるとすぐに疑いがかかってしまう。その辺りをご理解いただきたいのですよ。
Well, I know what Uishi-san is trying to say. Combining it with what Shion told me before, the Sonozaki family is huge and controls everything from Hinamizawa to Okonomiya. Mion, meanwhile, is his successor, who apparently holds strong influence over the entire family. Still, that's all? That's the only reason they're suspecting her?
ですから、私だって仕事で仕方なくやってるんです。ミオンさんを疑うためでなく、ミオンさんの疑いを晴らすために捜査をしている。そうお考えいただきたいのです。
I still want a lawyer. He could talk a dog out of a meat truck. He was the definition of a shrewd, unfair adult. At this point, I began to think it was no coincidence that I'd met him.
大石さん、ひょっとして俺に用なんですか？
ねえ、そうですよ。前原圭一さん。
He answered in an absent tone of voice.
何かの事件でミオンを疑っていて、その友人の俺に何か聞きに来た。そういうことですか？
いえいえ、違います。私は園崎ミオンさんの友人と話をしに来たのではなく、前原圭一さんに話をしに来たのです。ご自宅にお伺いしたらご迷惑でしたでしょうからね。
俺に警察が何の用だって言うんですか
？Having realized this fake coincidental meeting had me as its target, my mood immediately turned foul.
そんなに構えなくて大丈夫ですよ。肩を楽にしてちょっと質問に答えてくださるだけでいいんです。
それって職務質問ってやつですか？
Get a lawyer!
偶然知り合ったおじさんとの世間話ってことにしましょう。
Let's call it if you were in the US, you'd be breaking my rights. Uishi-san freely suggested that I relax. There we go. That's about how I feel about how this whole situation's gone down. We're about to talk to Uishi, and we will die. That said, behind his eyes was a light, which I could only see sometimes, that was sharp as a hawk. If I tried in vain to run away, he might actually take me in and bring me to an interrogation room or something. That was an undoubtedly unpleasant thought.
ゆうべは渡長市のお祭り、盛大で楽しかったですね。
はぐらかさないでください。今さら世間話なんかされても。
昨日の渡長市の晩、富武二郎さんと高野美代さんにお会いしませんでしたか
？I could plainly feel myself give a start.
あれ、写真はどこに行っちゃったかな？
Oh, good, he got pictures.
ああ、あったあった。
He opened a small notebook and removed 2 photographs. I didn't have to look.
さあ。
Hey, I mean, this conversation originally should have taken place in the car, but you know.
どうでしょう。あったような、合わなかったような。
I was asked the same question for the second time today. I gave the same answer for the second time, too.
あれ記憶が曖昧ですかまさかアルコールが入っててよく覚えてないなんてのはなしにしてくださいよ。
Dude, this is entrapment. Get a lawyer. Here, too, I got the same answers I had from Mion. I know this isn't in America, but still. I realized he wasn't taking my vague reply well. Why is he asking me the same thing Mion did? The dark feelings I'd nearly forgotten due to my conversation with Shion became rushing back in a hurry. We snuck into the sacred ritual storehouse, a punishable act. It was on a tiny impulse. While it may not count for much now, I do feel sorry about it.
もう一度お聞きしますよ。夕べのお祭りで富武二郎さんと高野美代さんにお会いしませんでしたか
Get a lawyer. His tone was soft, but there was a dreadfulness in his voice, clearly different from the first time he asked. I'm scared. That was exactly how I felt.
と、繰り返し聞かれても、答えはさっきと同じです。
I don't really remember. There wasn't any better answer I could give him. I didn't have the balls to say I didn't see them, or the courage to admit I had.
そうですか。改めて聞けば、さっきとは違う答えが返ってくるかなと思いましてね。
I'm too scared to look Oishi-san in the eyes.
では、質問を変えます。ほら、前原さん。リラックス、リラックス。
Not a chance! Oishi-san grabbed my shoulders and squeezed them as if trying to give me a massage. It mostly just hurt, though. Still, why would he ask the same things as Mion? If he's asking the same things, then the next question must be...
同じく夕べのお祭りなんですが、園崎しおんさんにお会いしませんでしたか
I wondered what that sound was, and when I looked down, I saw there was the unmelted ice in the cup I was gripping in my hands. My hands were trembling, rocking the ice back and forth. Realizing that, I hastily put the remaining ice in my mouth and crunched down on it.
すみません。あったかもしれないですけど、ほら、ミオンにもそっくりですから。ミオンと見間違えてるかも。
そんなわけはないでしょう。
They're wearing different clothes? Suddenly, Ueshiya-san grabbed my shoulders and hunched down to give me a little stare. This must be what it's like to be a deer in the headlights. I want to look away, but I can't. This is the first time I've experienced such a piercing stare.
ミオンさんもシオンさんも服装は全然違うんですから。そう簡単に見間違えるはずはありませんよ。前原さん。
His voice was harsh. Harsh, the same as when Mion said it. I could feel my heartbeat quickening. When I realized he could feel it through the hands of my shoulders, I got even more scared. Yeah, he doesn't learn a thing. Although this is not the guy he confessed to. I'm just saying. Why are Mion-san and Uishi-san both asking about last night? Was sneaking in that storehouse so bad? Ugh. I shouldn't have let Takano-san talk me into it. Tomataki-san casually said to check it out too, so... Even Shion, if she hadn't encouraged me... I'm blaming everyone else for my failures. It's society's fault. No, I understood. I was the one most at fault here. Oh good, he's owning up to it. I shouldn't have let my curiosity get the better of me. I shouldn't have gone into the forbidden storehouse.
おいさん、ホタルの光っす。
A young man wearing a suit came into the lounge. From the way he held himself, I knew immediately that he was Oishi-san's subordinate.
あれは本当だ。もう閉館なんですね。
I hadn't realized it until he said something. The jingle and announcement telling patrons the library had closed had started playing without me realizing it. I was so irritated, so overwhelmed that I couldn't even hear it.
じゃあ前原君、もうこんな時間なんで私たちは失礼させてもらいます。このお話はもっと時間のある時にのんびりといたしましょう。
Bear-chan gets a Sprite. This isn't a joke. If I never saw him again, it would be too soon. Oishi-san followed his subordinate and left the lounge behind him. However, he spun back around.
そうそう前原さん。
何ですか？
さっきさせてもらった2つの質問ですが、どちらの回答もよく覚えてないでしたよね。
はい。
参考までに。あなた昨日全員にお会いしてますよ。4人で楽しそうに歩いてたじゃないですか。石段のところで。私がこの目で見てますから。
I caught my breath and my heart seemed like it was about to stop. What a detestable person. He knew, and he was testing me.
ではまたお会いしましょう。良いお年を。
I sat there like a rock, unmoving until I could no longer hear the clacking sounds of their footsteps. Ooh, is this a chapter break? That was a short chapter compared to the first one today.